Well, good morning. It's a great honor to be here today and talk to you about money, behavior, and your life. But I can't do this alone, so I need your help. So let's start answering a couple of my questions, okay? And let's start simple again. Can you please raise your hand again if you're from Gouda? All right, thank you. Can you raise your hand if you're a woman? Nice. Can you raise your hand if you are over 40 years old? All right, okay. Yeah. Can you raise your hand if you will never raise your hand, no matter what I ask you? Very smart group, yes, thank you. Last question. Can you raise your hand if you think money makes you happy? All right, well, thank you. My conclusion, we are in Gouda. Enough women, many people over 40, so I think it's safe to assume I have a very intelligent group of people right here in front of me, right? And this could cause a problem for my next question, because this is a very simple question, maybe even too simple for you smart people. But let's do it anyway, because I brought my book, and I want to spice this question a little bit, so the one who gives me the correct answer will win a copy of this book. All right, are you ready for a very simple question? Please be loud and clear. Ready? How many squares do you see? 16? 17? 21? 29? 25? 17? 28? 36? 32? 30. Who said 30? Oh, yeah, congratulations. Well, this wasn't so easy, and I am to blame, because I used a couple of dirty tricks, to be honest. First of all, I said a couple of times, you are smart people. And of course you are, but I put you in this smart people state of mind. Then I told you it's going to be a very simple question. And you thought, I'm smart? Simple question, I can do this. And then I spiced it up a little bit with the award, the book, so you decided to answer as fast as you can. And there we go. Many wrong answers. Even though the 30 squares are right there in front of you. So you just experienced how easy it is to make an impulsive decision. We call this our fast system. It's very active all of the time. And this has a lot to do with the way our brains developed. Back when we were living in the African plains, clad in our leopard skin, we needed this system to survive. Imagine you are there on the floor of the African plains looking for food, when suddenly one of your friends runs away. What would you do there, crawling around in the yellow grass? Would you wait and determine what is going on? Whether your friend is running away from a lion? No. You would run as fast as you can. You wouldn't think about it. However, we left those plains behind a long time ago. So we may not need to rely on this impulsive decision-making as much anymore. And impulsiveness is probably not the best strategy when it comes down to financial decision-making. You really need to know what the consequences are of your deeds. But our ancient reptilian brain makes us buy bitcoins when everyone else does, makes us sell our investments when the stock market plunges, and lets us do all kind of crazy stuff with our money. Let me give you another example on how we make decisions. Suppose you're free to choose where you prefer to live. You could either choose to live in Chapel Street. And in Chapel Street, you will make 120,000 euros a year, whilst all of your neighbors will make 150. You could also move to Market Street. And here you make a solid 80,000 euros. And the rest of them make 60. So where would you gonna live? Chapel Street or Market Street? Well, you smart people would say, well, this is a no-brainer. I will live in Chapel Street because I make 40,000 euros more, right? But think again, because in Chapel Street, you would be the failure of the street. You would live in the smallest house, and you wouldn't go on holiday as often as your neighbors. Whereas in Market Street, you'd be the king or the queen of the road, the biggest house, the biggest car, and you would go on holiday quite often. And you feel better in Market Street. It sounds illogical, right? But research shows this is indeed how we seem to reason. So we tend to use our gut feeling quite often. And this is not always a bad thing because it got us where we are now. However, it also messes up today's decisions. I've been working in personal finance for over 15 years, and I've learned it's very hard to make good financial decisions. And why is this? Well, I believe it's because money is not a proper part of our education, at least not in the behavioral side of it. True, we learn a lot about the economy, investments, insurances, but this is all rational, and most financial decisions aren't rational at all. So we need to learn how we behave in order to make better decisions. And I think this is important because money causes a lot of stress. Did you know that 33% of people stay awake at night because they worry about their money? And worrying, well, doesn't bring us a lot of joy now, does it? And this is a shame because I believe life is not a rehearsal. It's not a dry run before the real show opens. There's no editor to set things straight before light comes on. No, life is a live show. You've got one chance to do it right or wrong. So you better do it right and do it fast because time is slipping away. I'll show you with a metaphor. I brought this measuring tape. And this particular piece of tape is 81.5 centimeters long. The reason for this, 81.5 happens to be the average lifespan of people in Europe. Earlier we saw that many of you are over 40, which means half of your life is in the past. Well, I hope you learned a little bit. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. And the good news is, it seems you have 40 years left. However, is this really the case? Because if you really, really want to do and make the best of your life, probably the last 10 years of your life you won't do this anymore, because when you're over 70, you tend to settle down. You want peace of mind and security. So if I do the math here, you only have 30 years left to make the most of it. And what is making the most of it? What is making the best of it? Well, I'm not sure if we do know that, but we do know what we don't want. Because an Australian nurse named Bronnie Ware wrote a book about the regrets she recorded from dying patients. She had been nursing patients during the last 12 weeks of their lives. The number one regret? I wish I would have had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life that others expected of me. And such a shame that people who are about to die recognize they lost their chances at fulfilling their dreams. So making the best of it is probably not about buying bigger cars or fancier clothes or sailing a bigger boat around the world. No, it's much more than that. It's being true to yourself. And I think the good thing is we have the freedom to do so, and I feel we may well have the duty to as well. So why is it so hard then to do this actually, to live a better life? What is holding us back? I think it's understandable, yet another perfect example on how we make decisions. Suppose you can choose again between 100 euros now or 110 euros in a month. What would you choose? Research shows again that many people favor the 100 euros now over the 110 in a month, which is weird to me because you make 10 euros more, which is 10% return in a month. But our brain is hardwired to go for the instant reward instead of thinking about the future. And this is what you have to do. If you want a more fulfilling life and chase your dreams, you have to plan. Because a dream without a plan is just a wish. However, with a proper plan, it becomes a goal. And these may be achieved. So start planning. And it basically means knowing what you want, when you want this, and how to get there. And if you do this, you will find out you need some money, and you will also find out there's this money paradox. Because on the one hand, I don't believe money makes us happy. On the other hand, we can use money to do the things that make us happy. Right? So instead of working long hours in jobs we don't really like, we should use money to chase the dreams we really want to achieve. And I know this sounds hard, financial planning, planning your finances. So I would recommend you use an advisor or someone else you trust who sees money as a tool instead of a goal. And what financial planning basically means is giving you peace of mind regarding your money. It means no more worries about a broken car or an unexpected bill. Did you know that 40% of people don't have enough money to pay for unexpected bills? Can you imagine the anxiety this causes? But financial planning also means create enough savings for your kids' college money, or to accumulate enough wealth to retire early. It basically means having enough for who knows what. And sadly, in my day-to-day life as a financial planner, I come across a lot of people who don't really appreciate their lives as it is. They sometimes complain about their jobs and lack of money, even though we could do so much better in our part of the world. But this summer, I was with my wife and 2 little boys. We were in our hotel room. We had a great holiday at a beautiful island with white beaches and palm trees and very friendly local people. It was perfect until the earth started to shake. And not like a big truck driving by, but more or less like a big giant shaking our little holiday house. So we ran outside and saw quite a few people panic. Of course, we were in Lombok, Indonesia, and we came out unharmed. We were lucky. But it dawned on me that many people in the Western world are lucky all of the time. We live privileged lives with solid houses, sufficient incomes, a sound social security system. We have education, healthcare, and freedom. My friend O always says, freedom is knowing what you want and having the means to do so. So I believe if we start making smart decisions, we could actually improve our lives a little bit. So bear with me here again, please. Can you think back 1.5 years ago, so spring of last year? Think back to the moment you bought your new clothes for the summer, like jeans or a pair of jeans or new jacket. Can you think of that moment? How does this make you feel? And keep this in mind, keep this feeling in mind, if you will. Then think back to another moment, could be even longer away. Think back at a moment you spent with someone you really care about, your kids, your parents, your friends, your partner, and maybe at a special occasion, like playing with your kids at the beach or having a great dinner with your partner somewhere. How does this make you feel? If you're honest to yourself, thinking back to this moment with your friend or partner or kids gives you a bigger sense of happiness. And this is what we also see if you look into your brain. There's much more brain activity in the happiness area if you think back to those memories. These are longer lasting and give you a bigger sense of happiness. And still we fell prey to our own behavior all the time and buy all these things we don't really need. Even though deep down we know we favor experiences over possessions. So I think if we can use our money in a smarter way and behave a little bit better with our money, we could actually improve our lives. And the end of my talk is near, so allow me to recap a little bit. I hope you just experience a little bit how hard it is to make proper decisions regarding your finances. We are impulsive. It's hard to think about your future. And this causes a lot of stress regarding money. I think if you have an advisor or someone you can trust, you can actually improve your life. It will give you peace of mind regarding your finances, and you can live a better life. And this leaves me with my final question. What are you going to do? What are you going to change so your life will be a little bit better tomorrow than it is today? Thank you very much.